Hello and Merry Christmas. I just wanted to say a few things, but Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I felt like sharing a video today. Welcome to my channel. I am Tea and Tequila with Alexis, but I have a confession to make first. I have been lying. I know, surprise. Um, my name really isn't Alexis. It's Alejandrina, and I've been hiding. I've been hiding myself. I like this channel and I like my name, Tea and Tequila with Alexis, but my real name is Alejandrina, and I went by Alexis or Alex to make my name easier for others to pronounce, which I still do if you can't pronounce it, but that's not the real me. The real me is Alejandrina, and I'm a weirdo, and I accept every single part of me. But I also wanted to get on here because I've had a lot of things going on in life lately, especially starting within the last month with my birthday and everything. It's been a it's been a ride, but I just wanted to get on here and say that it's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. It's great. Follow your heart, because that's what I did. Starting on 12/12 actually was the last shift that I worked for my job. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know after that day I wasn't going to be working anymore, because on the 15th I decided to quit my job. I was off for 3 days, and we haven't been as busy as predicted, and they hired another person we didn't need, took a shift away from me. So I decided right then and there that was a sign that it was time for me to leave. And I knew it was time for me to leave a while ago, because I was having problems at one place of business I was at for years. People I've worked with for years. You become friends, you go through life, troubles, struggles, whatever. And a lot of people know that I struggled with alcohol and anger, and those were the people that I connected with at that time. And as I became sober and started listening, to myself and changing the things I didn't like about me, I no longer connected with those people. And those people didn't like that. I no longer fit in. And I knew it was time for me to go when more and more problems started to arise. And I kept hearing a voice in my head say, "You don't belong here. You don't belong here. You don't belong here." Every single time I went to that job and I clocked in, I just heard it and I felt it. And I just wanted to just leave my stuff and just walk out, but I couldn't, because I was tied to it. Because I went and got myself a condo, trying to be the grown-up adult. I wasn't really ready to buy a place, but I bought a place because I had that pressure from a parent, and I listened, and I got myself into things that were too much for me to handle, let's say. I do a lot of things on my own and I'm very independent, but owning my own place has probably been like one of the most awesome, scary, hardest things I've ever done. And at this point in my life, this is not something that I want to do anymore. And going on this journey, I realized that the only thing that kept me from living my life and that tied me into a job I no longer wanted to be at, nor that should have been at, was this condo. But I wanted to keep it because I begged for this condo. I prayed for this condo, and I got it. I shouldn't have got it. I wasn't the highest bidder, but somehow, some way, by the grace of God, I got this home, and I needed this home when I got it, but I no longer need this home because of the toxic energies that I allowed into it in my life struggles. It's no longer like, I love this place, but it's no longer my sanctuary. This was my place. I got to decorate it how I wanted to. I made it my own, but it no longer feels like home. It just feels like a place where I reside and I hide. But anyways, I don't know where I was going with this, as usual, because I start talking and things come out. But anyway, so I ended up quitting. Well, I didn't quit. I told the universe that I wanted to be out of that job by a certain day, May 23rd. Well, May 23rd comes along, and I changed that date to June 19th because of whatever reason. I don't remember what happened. But June 19th comes along, and one of my coworkers is like, I thought you said you were leaving. Like, I knew you were never gonna leave. And I was like, yes, I am. And I went and asked my manager about that transfer I'd asked for. Well, lo and behold, on June 19th, that transfer was approved. I left that job and I started a new one in August when we found my replacement. And I've been at the new one for a couple of months, and the first weekend that I started, so my last shift at one job was a Saturday. My first shift was supposed to be a Monday at the other one I transferred to within the company, but somebody called out sick and they needed somebody to help, so they asked me if I wanted to come in on Sunday for my first day of training, and I did. And that woman that I was training with made my life a living hell. And I knew right then and there that I shouldn't have been there either, but I had to stay because I needed the job, I needed the money, I needed to keep my life going. But the point I'm going with this, I guess, is this last month I've been called to basically end a lot of things: friendships, relationships, habits, addictions, start branching out more. And I slowly started doing those things. And then I was starting to stop and become complacent. And I found myself in that energy of like anger and disgust. Like I couldn't stand that job, but I had to stay there. And I kept telling myself, because I started my own company in May, but I let work, life, and different personas in my ego get the best of me. So I didn't have time to focus on it. And I had so many ideas and I had so many things that I wanted to do. And I had these all written down, and I found that journal where I wrote, this is what I want to do. These are the things I want to branch off to. This is, everything. This is the reason why I started that company. And I started that in May. And I wanted to be out on my own by the end of this year. And I didn't see it happening. And it was getting sad, and I was getting disappointed that I started this thing, and I was thinking to myself, well, maybe it's not going to work. Maybe I'm just going to have to let my company go. Well, that opportunity arose when my manager decided to hire an extra person we didn't need and take a shift away. And it just so happened that that was also the week that my mom was having a surgery done and she needed assistance, but I told her I couldn't come down because I had to work. I mean, we were slow, we weren't making as much money, so I really had to work. Well, that same week, you took a shift away from me. So then I said, fuck it, or screw it, excuse my language, because I'm trying to work on my language too. I cuss like a sailor. I said, screw it. What's the point in going to work for if I show up on time, I do my job, I'm not late, I stay late when other people do no call, no shows, or call out, but you took a shift away from me. Why? And that right there showed me how much I am not valued there as an employee, so I took myself out of it. So 12/12, which was a Thursday, was my last shift that I worked. On those 3 days off that I had, they put out that schedule and everything happened. Well, on 12/15, I decided I wasn't going back. 12/16, I put my house up on the market, and then later on that day, after dealing with the realtor, doing some shopping, cleaning, something told me to pack a bag and leave that day, because I was going to leave the next day on the 17th, but something told me on 12/16 to pack a bag and leave that day. And if I did not listen to that calling, who knows where I would be, because I packed a bag, I booked a flight. 2 hours later, I was on that flight. I was the last one to book that flight, and I was in the 4th row. When does that ever happen? But when I followed my intuition and I listened to my heart and I listened to my calling, everything started working out for me. So I don't know where I'm going with this except for to tell people that it's okay to be selfish. I mean, I feel bad because it's the holidays and I know people want to spend time with their families and stuff, but nobody gave a crap about me needing anything that I needed. But I was still there covering shifts for them. And then a reward is having shifts taken away. Not for me. But I also wanted to quit too, because my whole life I have never wanted to work for anybody else. When I was 5, I kept saying I wanted to have my own business, and I was so proud when I started it, and I didn't have time to focus on it. And I said, I could focus on my business if this job wasn't in my way. This job takes up a lot of my time and it's in my way. So you know what happened? The universe removed it out of my way. Now when I quit, I was so excited. I felt so free, and I was like living life, loving it up. I was nervous as heck. The next day, I was like, "Oh my gosh, did I, regret my decision? Did I make a mistake? Should I stay? Should I put in my 2 weeks at least?" No, these people don't give you notice for anything. Why the hell do you have to give them notice? Stop living by their rules, because I'm done living by other people's rules. I'm living by my own rules. And my own rules are, you take care of people the same way they take care of you when called to. Now, sometimes some situations just require an Irish goodbye, and that was an Irish goodbye. And I don't regret it at all. Did I worry about how I was going to come across money? Yes. Did I have enough in savings to do that? Not really, but it's going to work out. It's going to work out. And since I listened to my intuition and I went down and I visited my mom and I helped her and I didn't run into my brother. He picked me up from the airport, but we were having some family issues and my brother and I weren't getting along for a couple of years. And this last year we started getting along again, which has been wonderful. But going down to visit them in Arizona, my birthplace, was a blessing in disguise. I did not realize how much I needed my family and how much they needed me. I thought that I was good all by myself. I alienated myself in some situations, and in others I was taken out of situations, and I didn't understand why. But now I understand why. I was being removed from toxic situations that I was holding myself in. I had myself caught in this cage in my head of this is what I deserve. This is my life. And that's not it. That's not it at all. And when I realized that that job doesn't make me happy, the people I'm around don't make me happy, they actually zap my energy. But I'm the happiest when I'm doing things on my own, That's what made me happy. That's what motivated me to quit. And I didn't even think about it. Once that momentum came the third day, and I was sitting there living in the energy that I quit my job, I really did it because I never thought I would do it. I never thought I would do it. And I kept saying, I'm just tied to that job because I have this condo. The universe removed that out of my way. I was talking to a realtor looking at different options, and I texted him, and he texted me back immediately. And he showed up, and he was ready to get that paperwork done. It just worked out the way it needed to work out. When I listened to that calling, it worked out the way I needed it to work out. Everything kept telling me it was time to leave. It was time to leave. It was time to leave. For months, I've been having dreams and an intuition and a feeling that it's just like, get your clutter down to one bin. Be ready to pack a bag and go. And I was like, where am I going? I can't afford to go on vacation right now. The universe is nuts. Like, I can't go anywhere. Well, when I just dropped everything and I went to be with my family, despite having to work, everything worked out. Everything worked out. It even worked out to the point that I was supposed to be going to Sedona on this trip with my mom when I was down there because she couldn't drive, but she can go places. I was driving Miss Daisy for a little bit. We were supposed to be going to Sedona, and I kept telling my mom I wanted to go to Prescott, but it was Sedona I wanted to go to, but I kept saying Prescott. Lo and behold, as long as I had lived in Arizona, I've never been to Prescott. I don't know why, but I ended up in Prescott at Watson Lake, and that was probably the most peaceful, relaxing, quiet time I've had in a long time. And it was wonderful. And then I decided to buy a scratch ticket. It wasn't a lottery ticket, it was a scratch ticket. I had $10 left in cash in my wallet on December 23rd. Something told me to go buy a scratch ticket. And I saw this $10 one, and I didn't want to spend the $10 on it because I was like, that's my last $10 in cash. Now, that was just cash. I had more money, but that's just cash. I like to use my cash before I use my card for anything. Or debit card for anything. But I picked out this one that just stood out in this whole selection. The middle one, Lucky 10. And I was regretting it. And I was like, no, I'm probably not going to do it. And I get up to the counter and I'm like, I want to do this Lucky 10, this $10 one. Now, granted, they had 5 different selections of Lucky 10 on there, but this one just stood out. And my point with this is when you listen to your calling, it pays out. The universe takes care of you. I won $100 on a $10 scratch ticket that I was doubting myself on getting because I didn't want to spend my last $10 in cash. How is that for the universe working for you? Everything that I've been doubting, I finally let go of, and everything's been flowing freely. I don't have to worry about money anymore. If I just go where I'm told and I listen to my calling, I go. I've missed so much family time, friend time, events because I had to work. And my thing with work, I don't mind working. I like working. I bartended for 20 years. I don't want to do it anymore. I know I'm better than that, and I'm not saying that I'm better than bartending, but I've been doing it for 20 years. I'm not even 40 yet, but I've been doing it for 20 years. And I love working in restaurants, but if I worked in a restaurant, I would want it to be my own. If I worked in a bar, I would want it to be my own. And this last place I worked, with my 20 years of experience, mind you, I started bartending at a chain restaurant when I was 18, as soon as I graduated high school, because a day bartender quit and they needed somebody, and I was old enough to do it. I knew nothing about alcohol. I mean, nothing. I didn't even know what gin and tonic was. I was such a nerd in high school, but I didn't know what a gin and tonic was. I should tell you, I didn't drink in high school. I had to learn everything on the job by experience. The easy way, the hard way. But just making little changes behind that bar, I got shut down. Like my opinion didn't matter. My expertise didn't matter. I was treated like I didn't know anything. So if you don't appreciate me, why am I going to stay where I'm not wanted or needed? I am not. And that's what I've been guided to do this last month, especially, but this last year, is to let go of things where I'm not wanted or needed and stop staying in places where I'm not wanted. Stop staying in situations, as in relationships, friendships, where I'm not wanted. Sometimes people just want you around because they feel they need whatever you have, but they don't want you. They need you. But if you're not getting anything out of that relationship in return, you gotta let it go. And by letting things go, I've had better things happen, especially in this last month, just one by one. Now, have I had karma hit me? Oh, absolutely. Last year, and I know I've talked about it a couple of times, was not one of my finest years. By the least. And I had to pay that karma this year. And like everyone says, this is a year of the 8. But I've also seen good karma come. And I was talking to a friend and a mentor, Monica from Divine Elemental. And she had done a reading for me on Sunday the 15th when I had decided to quit my job because it was a full moon and we thought it would be a great idea to have a reading that day. And I was getting upset because she was telling me some things that I still needed to work on, and I felt like I had been working on all these things, and I was like, I'm so tired of working. She didn't understand why or how I thought that, I would never have to work on things again. It's like I knew I was going to have to work on things again, but I felt like I kept trying and working on things, and I wasn't winning. Not realizing that I was winning. I didn't realize how much I was winning working on myself this past year. My mindset is completely different. I wouldn't have been on this channel talking. I wouldn't be on here talking now about, I don't even know what it was I was talking about, the things that happen, the big life shifts, the changes, because I just completely flipped my life upside down. And I have no idea what direction I'm going in, but I'm just trusting in what's coming. That's all I can do. I can just have faith that I'm always going to be taken care of. I've always had what I needed. Now I'm having to let go of the things that I wanted that no longer serve me, whether it be material things, people, situations that I wanted but didn't need, but I forced anyway. Letting all of that go. Not the easiest. But once I did, I felt that burden just lift off of my shoulders. I mean, and this is hard. This is hard for me to sit on here talking like this because I don't like being vulnerable. I don't like being vulnerable at all at any point. But for the last few days, something's been telling me to record a video and talk about it. Share this point in my journey, because I said I'd be sharing points of my journey on this channel, and I have not done much. I've wanted to post videos, but I've been too shy or not wanting to talk or share anything. But I am today. This is a Christmas present to myself. I'm not hiding anymore. I like my new glasses, though. They are super cute. I needed some new glasses. And it actually worked out the way I needed new glasses, too, because the universe said I needed to start seeing things clearly and not seeing them all foggy. Like in my old glasses, they were scratched because they were 8 years old, and I didn't want to replace them because I like them. But also, like, when you let go of old things, you know, new things happen. So, like, I got these new sassy little glasses, right? I like these glasses. I really like them. They make me feel sassy. I feel like a professor, or maybe like a librarian. Yes. But anyway, along this journey, I've had to let go of a lot of people who I thought were my friends, but going through this, I've learned who my real friends are and who aren't. And along the way, I've met a lot of wonderful people who are part of my soul tribe. You can see my gray hairs. Yeah, I'm old. I'm older. I'm wiser. That's what they make. They make me wiser. Anyways, I've met more people that are part of my soul tribe. And I met them through Monica on Divine Elemental. And she's wonderful. Get a reading from her. She'll tell you the truth. I mean, she's even been tough on me, and I'm tough on myself. But, like, shit. Sometimes there's things, like, you can say to me that I haven't said to myself. And I'm like, damn. I mean, she's a tough lady. I like it. And if you talk to me that way, and a lot of people don't, they're intimidated by me to talk to me that way. I kind of like it, though, sometimes. I don't know why. Maybe because people are intimidated by me, which I don't see why. I mean, but like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that people can say to me that don't bother me because I've been a lot tougher and harder on myself. And I know there's a lot of other people out there like that. And I'm telling you right now to be a lot nicer and softer on yourself. Take it one day at a time. I've been taking my recent freedom one day at a time. And I call it recent freedom because I don't get the point in jobs and why we have to ask people for our own time. Who decided that we have to do that? And who decided that that's a rule that we have to follow? You applied to work for somebody and they rule your life? I don't think so. I'm taking my power back, and I took it back. Nobody is going to be my boss anymore except for me. I'm making my own decisions now. And I'm moving whatever way I want to. And by quitting that job, I can go wherever I want to. If I wake up and something tells me to go to Oregon and go talk to a farmer about something, then I'm going to go. If something tells me to drop everything and go to Texas and put my feet in the water, I'm going to go to Texas to put my feet in the water. Because something's telling me to do that for a reason. And now I'm free to do it. I don't have to ask anybody for my own time. Because it used to be, if you ask them for your time and they say no, you're stuck. Because if you do a no-call, no-show, or call out that day, you lose your job. These people need you more than you need them. I can tell you that much. When you know your worth, you got that understanding. But the only thing I need to survive and to be successful in this life is myself. And the people that are put in my path along that way, whether they're a lesson or a blessing, a season or a reason. But I know what I have up here, I'm going to stop hiding it. I've dumbed myself down for too long. trying to make other people comfortable, or trying to hide, because I didn't want any more responsibility. But my only responsibility is myself and my happiness. My happiness, myself. And that's anybody's responsibility. It's yourself and your happiness. It's not to keep living a life that you don't enjoy, because that's a social norm. The point in this life is freedom. And how you get to freedom is by following your heart. Love is the mission. Freedom is the mission. Self-love is the mission. And when you love yourself enough to actually listen to your heart and follow it, that's when that freedom comes. Now I just got back home from visiting my family. I stayed until Christmas, but I had to come back because I need to get photos done for my condo to put it on the market officially with something to look at and get some things packed. So I decided to come back today. I could have stayed a little bit longer, I guess, but I needed to get stuff done. I actually needed to get stuff done. I was gone for a week. No, I'm just rambling. And I forgot my train of thought. Meow. I don't know what I was saying now. Anyways, the point of this shift that we're having right now in December is to free yourself. Free yourself from the things that you no longer want, so that you may allow your blessings to come in this next year. Trying to motivate somebody. Or maybe all of you. Whatever it is that you've been holding yourself back from is what you need to be going towards. That happiness. We only have one life to live. Why live it unhappy? Why settle? What's the point in settling? I settled for a long time and I was not happy. But you know what? I chose myself. And look who's happy now. Look who is happy now. I'm no longer worried about dumb material things anymore. I was replacing material things for happiness, when really happiness came from within. I was filling that void with shopping, drinking, going out to eat, gossip. At one point it was plants, and this isn't even the half of it. But I love my plants. My plants remind me of the life that I keep going. They bring life. I feel like I have my own indoor jungle. Let's see if you can get it off. And that's still not even the half of it. I've got a lot, but I love it. I love it. I love all the life that's around this house. That's in my energy. And I got rid of the energies that were sucking that life away from me. Sucking that life out of me. Toxic friends, relationships, jobs, habits, attitudes. I'm working on the mindset. That mindset is actually pretty much gone. It's pretty much gone. Now that I freed myself, I can see it. I see it that I can do anything. I can free myself from anything. I was the one holding me in there. I was the one who was giving my power away and letting people make decisions for me. But I took that power back, and now I'm making my own decisions. And it looks good on me. Happiness looks good on me. It looks good on you too. But whatever it is, just know that it's going to be okay. Whatever you choose. People are going to call you dumb for doing it. But in reality, they're only calling you dumb because they're scared because you followed your own path and they don't know how to do that. They don't have the confidence and the courage to do that. It takes a strong and brave person to just turn your own life upside down. But you know you're doing it because you needed a change. You asked for a change. And the universe is asking you to make that change to help this to go smoother. Because if you don't, but you keep asking, the universe is going to make it so miserable for you that you have no choice but to do it. Or they're going to remove you from those situations in a way that you don't like. That's happened to me a couple of times. I didn't understand why things happened, but I know that they happen for my highest and greatest good now. Rejection was my protection. I used to think that stuff was boo-boo. I thought that was like one of the dumbest sayings, but I understand it now because I was rejected from a lot of things. A lot of things. And I talked to people that were in those things, and I understand why I was rejected from those. Why people rejected me. Why I rejected people. Rejection is your protection. But right now is the time for making changes for the better. Because this year and last year have been they've been years of changes. Last year was a very hard year for a lot of people. This year was a hard year for the people that still didn't learn their lessons from last year. And you can always get on that boat at any time. You can join us. It's really not that scary. It's been hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's been hard. And they say to enjoy the journey. And there are parts that I said were bull crap. And I was like, if you think I'm gonna keep living life this way, you're out of your mind. If I ask for this and you're giving me that, I'm not doing that. But you know what? Those were all things that I wanted. They weren't things that I needed. What I needed was this freedom. This burden lifted off my shoulders. This burden of being stuck in one spot or being held back because of something else. Now, I kept saying that job was in my way. That job was removed. I kept saying this house is in my way. This house is being removed. And I'm getting rid of the excess material clutter that I don't need because I'm decluttering my own mind. And as you get rid of the clutter around you, you clear your mind. And when you have more space, you allow better things to come in. When you let go of old things, you allow new things to come in. And they're always better. They're always better. You just have to look at the bright side if you don't see the better. Because I didn't see the bright side in a lot of these things. Because first I was pissed off that they took a shift away from me. And I didn't understand why. But now I'm seeing it was a form of rejection, which is for my protection. Because I said I didn't want to be in that job anymore, but I couldn't see my way out. But then that window of opportunity, when my mind shifted and said, maybe this is time for me to quit. I've been wanting to quit, and I did it. I did it on a whim. I did it impulsively, but it wasn't a bad impulsive this time. It was a good impulse, and it was for my highest good. It was for my mental health. Leaving that. I could do whatever. I'm focusing on my business. I'm perfecting my craft. So I like to do a lot of handmade things. I'm learning crocheting and macrame. I like making dream catchers. I like make dream catchers. I make candles. I make crystal jewelry. I make jewelry. I do readings. I do oracle readings. I'm not confident when I'm saying it for other people sometimes. But 99% of the time, I'm accurate. I'm more not confident when I do readings for myself. I feel like I'm misunderstanding them, but I'm not. Sometimes I just hear what I want to hear or read what I want to read. And not the actual message. Either way, I do readings. I've done readings. I've been doing readings for probably like 7 months now. I just keep it hidden. Well, some people think it's evil because I can read tarot cards, but I mostly do oracle cards, self-care, self-help, aligning your chakras. What foods to eat to help with those chakras. Crystals. Meditations. I do it all. It's a spiritual business. And I go where I'm called. I talk to who I need to talk to. I call who I need to call. I call who I'm told to call. It's Divine Sunflower LLC. That's my business. I do everything. I even bake. I'm a great baker. I'm going to start selling cookies on the side. Everybody likes cookies, especially chocolate chip cookies. I do gift baskets, handmade gift baskets. I do retreats. I do it all. And now I'm just going to focus on that and not focus on somebody else telling me when I can and can't do something, where I can and can't go. Controlling how much money I can make. I'm not ruled by money. I'm ruled by freedom. When they kept telling me, you know, if you stay later, you're going to make more money. I don't care. I care about my freedom. All I cared about was making sure my bills were paid and having a little extra to have fun. And then I took that a little too far. And now I'm putting myself back in order. I guess this is my debut. I have more time to focus on my channel, more time to focus on me, more time to focus on my business, and more time being present with my friends and my family, the ones who really matter. That's what I have more time for. What are you going to make time for? I'm interested to know.